Alrighty, and hello everybody, and welcome back to another big review. So we have the Rarity limited edition Kotobukiya Bishoujo figure. Thank you to everybody who of course voted in the last little poll I did on the community post. I really appreciate you guys for of course supporting and getting the votes in. And of course, if this is not the one that you wanted to see, don't worry, I will still do the other figures, the other two figures, the Arthur and the Jolene, but those are just gonna come down further down the line. But without further ado, we're just gonna jump right in. As per usual, just a spin around on the outside of the box. Now this is the limited edition series for these figures, so they have the holographic design, holographic plastic on the outside. But as per usual with the other figures, they do still have the same like rainbow across the top, same color scheme. The box itself is the lilac purple instead of just all white. There are some other little small details in between that are kind of similar or obviously just slightly different. If you want to see what most of those changes are, I know I've done other reviews with side-by-sides. We're going to do more in-depth side-by-sides with the actual figure itself. But if you want to see kind of more of those little itty-bitty things, I should have talked about one of those in my previous videos. So you can just see the top and the bottom. Pretty standard stuff. Now, so you can see on the inside of her box, it's again, it's that holographic bit coloring, but this is again lilac purple, a little bit deeper than the outside of the box, but still really nice, still really pretty. And so you can get a look of her inside, just the general packaging. It's just got the front and the back, no loose pieces or even just extra things in the corners. It's just super standard, and she does come attached to her base. Now when you go to take her fully out, she does have one huge baggie for her, and there is one smaller baggie around just the pony. Alrighty, but here she is out of the packaging. Just a quick, just normal spin around here. Now, these limited edition figures, the biggest main key differences are the hair, the skin, and the bases. The hair and the base become sparkly, they put glitter in them, and they also become slightly translucent. And then the skin, obviously, it turns the color of the actual pony. But we're going to take a little bit of a closer look at her first. Alrighty, but first up, of course, we have her lovely, beautiful face. Now, this face on this figure is so good. It's just so unique to basically any figures that I have, and even for the most part have seen. She just looks like the perfect amount of like a little bit of smugness, but then also still just kind of like being glamorous. So I really like it. She has, of course, her blue eyeshadow on top. She has a pink lip. There's not really any blushing to her cheeks or anything like that I can see. Her eyebrows are purple like her hair, so all really nice, just small touches there. She's got this kind of shiny metallic paint on top of her little diamond barrette going into her big purple sparkly translucent hair. Now I'll be honest, some of the other ones I didn't mind. This one is definitely my least favorite one, mostly because I mean you can see quite far into it. You can see some of the stuff underneath, and that's the one thing I just don't love about these. There is some nice parts like right here, you get to see her skin underneath. That's pretty cool, but I just don't super love these sparkly translucent ones anyways, just because I feel like there's just not as much depth to them. There's not that paint. It's not as nice of a quality because this is just the sculpt. The sculpt itself is nice. I mean, obviously we have all those really cool curls and stuff, but this is definitely the least interesting out of all of them. Moving right along though, we do have, of course, the same necklace as what is on the other Rarity. It's got a metallic, of course, same metallic paint, shiny paint for the jewels, and then like a plain just yellow for the actual necklace. Moving down though, we have her really cool, just fancy, I don't know what kind of shirt top this is, but sleeveless shirt that is just so perfect for Rarity. It's really nice. I've mentioned this before, but they base these heavily off of like the Equestria girls designs, but they matured them a little bit, and this is definitely in that ballpark. The original one was like all the way up to the top. It didn't have this cutout, no little tiny bobas, you know. They are little, there is a little bit of shading though, which is nice. It's like a kind of light indigo, I'd say, but very, very light. She's got big, lovely shoulders. There you can see a little bit more of that blushing, or at least I hope you can, because I know how white tends to show up on my cameras, but you can see there is the purple in her arm and a little bit like on her shoulder blade and on the spine of her back there. So I think they did a really, really good job painting on the skin for her, because you can even see it. There's some on the elbow. One quick thing I just noticed, I mean, she is got a lot of white on her, and white on figures can be really, really dangerous, because the moment they touch anything else, there is going to be a mark or a paint transfer. Now, there are some small ones, I won't deny that. However, there's not enough or anything like that's horribly bad where it's uncomfortable or gross. Now, keep in mind, of course, like I just said, because it's white, you will see paint transfers. Always make sure that you're handling her with extra care. Now, of course, her shirt is a really pretty shiny, like almost vinyl looking with the way that they painted it. They do, of course, a lovely job of shading it. They just did a plain gray for the shading, however, still looks absolutely fantastic here. Her purple belt lining all the way around, and again, shaded too. There is like a darker purple on the top and the bottom, and then there's a lighter purple in the middle, so they really went all out for shading this. I'm very glad to see that. The yellow is just this bright yellow. They didn't even make it look gold. I don't mind the yellow because I think it helps it stand out, but I do think maybe just a little bit of orange would have helped make it look less like a toy. It is My Little Pony though, so what do you expect? Now, moving right along, she has really graceful, elegant, dainty, very poised fingers. She does have a little bit of gloss on her fingertips, so that is nice. They're keeping up with that. Now, I won't lie, I think having like a blue tip painted nails would be really cute, just to kind of match the accents on her. Her skirt, she has just a sweet pencil skirt with little slits on both sides. They have a lot of nice creasing on the back and the front and the sides. It's just, again, sculpted very, very well. The cutie mark just kind of slapped on there, nothing spectacular, it's just a decal, but they did do a lot of nice shading on the actual purples of her skirt, so very nice. We got her big knees. Now, one nice thing I noticed with Rarity compared to the other figures, even with just the regular line, they did a nice job of sculpting her, making her look skinnier than the other ones, because her knees are much more defined than the other girls, and all of her actual like limbs are noticeably thinner than the others, or like, again, just more defined. So I think they did a really good job with that, and they did that again here, because you can even see, again, we got that continuation of the light blue shading going all the way down to her feet. You can even see hints of that on her toes and even kind of in like these ankle areas. So this is probably one of her actual sculpting, one of my favorites for this line. Her really sweet decked out shoes, of course I love them, and we got similar paints to what we've seen above. So pretty normal. A lot of this is, again, the same as what we saw for the original. We're going to look at that more in a little bit, because first we do have the pony. Now, she's got white pearly skin. There is like a pearlish shine to her. In certain aspects you can see like a really kind of like purple highlighting almost. It's very, very light, very slight. However, it's perfect for Rarity, of course, because that's who she is. She's a pretty pony. She's a pretty pony. She again also has the gel transparent sparkly hair. A lot of parts where it can be seen through, as seen on the back here. So again, don't super love it, but the sculpt itself is really nice. I mean, this curl here is really well done. I think that looks super fantastic. Finally, we have the base. As I mentioned earlier, this is transparent. You can see through it partially. Not fully transparent. There is a little bit of opaqueness to it still. Glitter inside, and of course all the different colored diamonds for her. And that is Rarity. You know, I usually do my upskirt checks, but I know from previous experiences that there's not much. This skirt is too teeny bitty tiny for us to see anything. So sorry everybody. Let's do a quick comparison, because I do want to at least compare the two figures, the original and the limited, to each other, because there are sometimes, I think, a lot of unique differences. As mentioned before, you can already immediately see those initial three differences: hair, skin, base. Obviously her hair is just like actually painted on. It's not see-through. You cannot see my hand through it partially, even a little bit. This obviously has the sparkle and the shine. Her skin, while very pale, especially compared to the other girls, it's obviously not that pale. So big skin difference. And then for the pony, same thing. We got fully opaque and then slightly transparent. And the base, same thing. Some smaller things I think that you may not initially see that they did definitely change. The lip is a little bit different. This lip is more of it's just almost skin tone. There is a slight little bit of pink to it, a little bit of pale pink. However, this is a much more defined pink on this side, just slightly more saturated. When you look at the ponies themselves, they are actually just slightly different. So I will bring them in just so you can see that. You can see that this one is obviously a shinier white than this one is. And now it's not by much, but there is a slight difference. Now, usually for the other ones, this one would be like way more painted and this one is not. Really, honestly, it's about the same here. And I think this one kind of looks better for like some of the shading on it. That might just be a small preference for me or even just a difference of manufacturing. But really, this difference is much more slight than what you see with the other ponies. However, I do prefer this one because this one looks a little bit more yellow with the color that they chose. And really, honestly, guys, that's it. Nothing else is really different. I mean, you can see she had like some weird highlights on her hair. However, everything else is basically the same. So we're basically at the end here, just kind of letting you see them both so you kind of have an idea. Oop, they're way off center though. Now, for me personally, for preferences, obviously everyone has their own opinions on this. These are both nice figures, and comparatively, I think even to some of the other ones, there are some things that I like about this more than other ones, and there's some things that I don't like as much. I personally prefer the original line to the limited edition line, mostly because of the hair. I think that the hair, while it's an interesting take on it, I just prefer having like the really nice shading because she has these lovely like pinks and deep purples in her hair, whereas this is just all purple, and then like I mentioned, she's almost getting like a bald spot because you can see through her head. Obviously the figures are almost exactly the same. I do still like for the limited edition versions that they do have like the pony's skin color, or even like just the actual Equestria girl skin color, because I do think like her having the white skin just looks really cool, like because it's a really bright contrast. If it were up to me, I would get the best of both worlds. I've said this before, but I would really love to have like the colorful crazy skin tones with just the fully painted hair, because I think the paint job on the hair just usually looks so much better. I don't love the airbrush white stripe that they did for Rarity, but me looking past that and looking at all the other figures, I still just prefer like these, like I said, really lovely pinks and deep purples that they put in her hair, because those look so nice. I personally also prefer the fully opaque bases. I think the glitter is really cute, and I don't mind this, and in fact this base is still pretty good. That's just a really small thing. That might even change depending on the figure, because I do like the white with those colors versus like this kind of periwinkle blue and the diamond, because it doesn't really contrast it as much. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you think. Of course, I'm gonna be continuing to get the line, and honestly probably once I get all 6 of the limited edition, because those are still coming. They still have Rainbow Dash and Applejack left. I might end up making a final decision where I'd kind of choose which one I want, because I don't need doubles of all the girls, honestly. So it's just more than I need. But I was interested in the line and I wanted to support it. But I appreciate you for making it to the end of the video. I'm going to have more pictures of the new limited edition one on my Instagram. That's my figure Instagram at Desunasis. There should be pictures of all the other ponies as well that I've collected, maybe minus 1 or 2, but I don't think so. I think they're all on there. You can find me at all these other lovely places as well. If you notice, I have a Twitch on there. I've been going live on Twitch quite a bit. I mean, it's at least once a week. It's not too much, honestly, but I usually stream late at night. We're playing games, having fun, so I definitely, of course, would love to see you guys over there. I appreciate you for making it to the end of the video. I hope you had a great rest of your last week, and I hope you have a great rest of your next week, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!